You only get one first playthrough. One moment where the world feels brand new. The map is still completely unknown and you're still a little clueless in the best possible way. And to me, that's one of the most magical parts of gaming. And I think that we owe it to ourselves to protect it at all costs. Hey guys, I'm Starter27, and if this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. And before we dive in, drop a comment about your most memorable first playthrough. But anyway, let's dive right in. There's something so special about the first time you step into a new world. It's the only moment where you're experiencing a game with zero expectations. You're not trying to optimize, you're not rushing towards the meta, or not even chasing achievements. It's just you flailing around, feeling out how this space works. And that innocence, that curiosity is something we rarely get as adults. Life has a way of pulling us into patterns and routines. But for me, there's something about a first playthrough that snaps me out of that, even just for a little while. It invites you to slow down, to pay attention, to learn, and even let yourself be surprised again. And honestly, that's a big deal. It's one of the few spaces outside of everyday life where discovery feels pure, unfiltered, and honest, and we can just let our curiosity guide us without judgment. On that first journey, you and your character grow together. You're both experiencing this world through a fresh set of eyes. You make choices based on instinct. You pick dialogue options because they feel right, not because you watched a video on the best possible endings. That's a one-way ticket to just robbing yourself of an incredibly memorable experience. And I think the best way to explain all of this is just to look at a few games that nailed that first playthrough feeling for me. Let's take, as usual, Skyrim for example. That very first time I stepped out of Helgen, I had no idea where anything was, and I remember distinctly Ralof saying, "We should probably split up." So I did. I just set off in the complete other direction, just taking in the sights. Every cave, every path, every monumental landmark felt like it opened up to something much, much bigger than I could have even ever imagined. It gave me that sense of, I have no idea where I'm going, but I'm going anyway. And it made the world feel endless in a way that, even though I still play it yearly, I won't ever be able to fully recreate. Then there was my first Dark Souls experience, which was basically equal parts awe and panic. I got lost constantly, I took wrong turns, fell down holes, wandered into areas I had absolutely no business being in, and yet, feeling and fumbling my way through this dark and deeply fascinating world was its own reward. That mix of fear, tension, and that tiny victory of kicking down a ladder for a shortcut to a bonfire that I discovered all on my own is a feeling no one will ever be able to take away from me, because I did it on my own. And to bring in a more recent example, and just to show that it's not only single-player RPGs that accomplish this, recently I've been playing Arc Raiders. And I'll never forget dropping in for the first time, hearing weird robotic chirps and chittering, and thinking that I heard footsteps and ominous stray gunfire in the distance. It was terrifying, but in the best possible way. Even just stumbling my way to the extraction point felt huge, because I didn't even know the map yet. I was just surviving on instincts, and that sense of accomplishment I felt from extracting with like 5 pieces of metal in a dream. No guide can replace that. And the really tricky thing is, these moments are super fragile. It doesn't take much to break that spell. One spoiler from YouTube Shorts, or top 10 things you need to do first. One comment telling you which ending is the real ending. Playing a new or old game for the first time and hopping onto the internet makes me feel like I'm dancing in a minefield. One wrong click and boom, your favorite character dies in Act 2. It almost feels like these algorithms are designed to make us scared to not be finished already. And I get it. It's fun to share in community about this ending or that ending or how to get OP quick, but in doing so, I think a lot of us forget what we're robbing other people of. And I totally get why we, even I, cave to it sometimes. Life's busy. Games are long. Nobody wants to feel like they're missing out on the best content or wasting their time with a suboptimal build, but chasing this comes at the cost of our own personal experience. The messy, meandering, wonderfully inefficient version where you just get lost, make mistakes, and learn, or fall into surprises that were laid out just for you since you didn't know any better. And the ability to allow your own curiosity and creativity to guide your decisions. You might even come up with a solution no one else has, and that is important. When you take away uncertainty, you rob yourself of discovery. You run the risk of just setting yourself on autopilot, and in turn, you rob yourself of that weird little side quest you stumble onto, or that NPC only you met and your friends didn't because you took a wrong turn somewhere, or even that moment where you failed successfully and it somehow made the journey that much more memorable. And I think in the long run, these moments become the memories we talk about years later. That's why I think giving yourself permission to play completely blind, at least the first time, is such a gift. It brings back that spark of curiosity that can feel few and far between in adult life. It slows your brain down to the present moment. It reminds you that stumbling and making mistakes are not only okay, but part of the fun. It even builds a weird confidence because you're not just following someone else's nicely rolled out carpeted path. You're trusting your own instincts, and honestly, at least for me, that feeling sticks. A first playthrough can become a little time capsule. You'll never see the world with those exact eyes again, especially after the guides, wikis, and speedruns, and that's not a bad thing. It just makes that first run even more sacred and worth every bit of protecting. It's the version of the game that fully belongs to you. Your choices, your instincts, your story. And once it's gone, it's gone. So if you can protect it even just a little, I really believe it's worth the effort. So take a deep breath and dive in. The water's fine, and the world is waiting for you to explore it your own way. Thank you guys so much for watching another video. If you made it this far, consider leaving a like. It really helps the channel. And let me know down in the comments what the most memorable first experiences you've had, and maybe what funny, unexpected thing happened along the way. I'll pin the funniest one. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, consider subscribing. I'll have a new video out every week. Also, I stream every Monday to Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you see that little red circle around me, come hang out. And lastly, if you're interested in joining a growing community of like-minded gamers, I have a link to the Discord right at the top of my channel. But all that to say, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, do something nice for yourself, and as always, happy adventuring.